Hello everyone, good afternoon and welcome to the Market Wrap for Tuesday the 10th of March. And look, today was a much better day for Aussie investors. At our best levels, we're up by around 1.7%, so we faded a little bit from those higher levels during the session, but still ended up by 1.1% to 8,692 points. Of course, this comes after quite a rocky session for our market yesterday when at one point we were down 4.5%, which would have been our worst day since May 2020, all the way back to the days of COVID. We did end lower by just under 3% yesterday, which was still quite a shocker, but ended up being our worst day in just under a year, with our market sitting about at a 3-month low. So as always, things can move quite quickly when it comes to the share market. For those interested, our market is now roughly 6% away from the record high we hit on February the 26th, which was almost 2 weeks ago. Now, the shift in sentiment follows comments from President Trump this morning signaling that the conflict could soon come to an end. So markets have been hopeful on the back of those comments. And I should mention we're up about 2.7% from the absolute lows that we hit yesterday to where the market finished in today's session. Now, looking across the different sectors, it was mostly positive. Energy, which was the only bright spot yesterday, was the biggest laggard in today's session, falling by close to 3%. Oil prices have had an absolutely crazy time over the past couple of days. Yesterday, lifting as high as almost $120 a barrel over fears of a lengthy disruption to supplies. But we saw prices moderating quite a lot since then. They're currently hovering around $88 a barrel, which comes down to Trump's comments this morning, but also comments from the G7 finance ministers. In order to address oil supply shortages, they've said they're ready to take necessary measures to support the global supply of energy, which could include the release of emergency oil reserves. So that helped relieve price pressures. Most of the other sectors recovered from yesterday's sharp sell-off, except for consumer staples, which was weighed down by Coles trading ex-dividend today. But we did see materials, financials, tech, healthcare, and consumer discretionary gaining between 1% and 2%. So quite a solid session for many of our sectors, which most of them posted pretty hefty falls in yesterday's session. BHP snapped its 5-day losing streak. It lost around 6% over that period, but today reclaiming at least some of that lost ground. And keep in mind, its share price is still roughly 13% higher since the start of this year, thanks to a strong rally since late last year. Life360 actually topped the winners list after a director exercised stock options, increasing his directly held common shares in the company. Fortescue has finalized its acquisition of Alta Copper, securing complete ownership of its copper project located in northern Peru. And Telix Pharmaceuticals, the cancer diagnostics business, was another winner today after positive results from its global phase 3 trial of its advanced prostate cancer treatment. So it shares up close to 8% today. On the other end, though, Pontoro Gold performed worse despite reporting solid half-year results. However, that was overshadowed by the company downgrading its guidance for the year due to a number of factors, including significant rain events. It also announced today that it will move ahead with plans to expand its gold project in Western Australia. Karoon Energy, which was one of the few stocks to lift yesterday, gaining over 10%, has today given up most of those improvements. We've also seen the likes of Woodside and Santos and others in the energy space giving up gains today as well. Helia was among the companies trading ex-dividend today, set to pay 83 cents per share to eligible investors on the 26th of March, which includes its full year and special dividend. So on an adjusted basis, it shares down by around 8%, but unadjusted down around 19%, and that's due to that return of capital via that special dividend. And shares of Air New Zealand lost ground after it withdrew earnings guidance for the year following the recent escalation of conflict in the Middle East and volatility in the jet fuel market. Now, the Aussie dollar has lost a little bit of ground. It's currently trading around 70.6 US cents. Looking ahead from here, US futures are pointing to quite a subdued session when trade kicks off tonight in the US. All three indexes are pointing to a loss of about 0.2%. So very subdued open. That's what it's pointing to at the moment. Anyway, that could potentially change between now and when the market opens. We'll also get an update on existing home sales for the month of February. Now, tomorrow locally, there's not much in the way of economic news. In fact, there's no economic news for the remainder of this week, but we do still have stocks trading ex-dividend. Tomorrow, the likes of Breville, Cleanaway Waste Management, Breville's, Vulcan Energy, and a handful of others trading ex-div, which could potentially add some weight on our market. See you again tomorrow.